Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to show you how to make the basis of this card with the diagonal fold on the front and trying to get all these angles lined up. I've actually found an easier way of doing it since I made this, so hopefully they'll be even straighter than these are. Okay, so let's get going. Right, so you'll need your trimmer, obviously, and I started off with your normal A6 card base and folded it in half, and then you need to cut this corner off here, and that length there needs to be 10.5 centimeters. So I just measured down from the top 10.5 centimeters. With a little mark that you can actually still see there, and then just join those two up on your trimmer so that you've cut off a 45-degree angle there. So, and then I did actually score that afterwards. You can score it before or after, it's up to you, but that's at 5.25 centimeters because this is 10.5 centimeters. So the first thing we're going to do is these two pieces. These are actually the easiest ones because they're just from the same piece. So first of all, what we need is like a normal card base width. So I've cut my DSP in half. So this is 6 inches. I've done it longer than I need it to on purpose so that you can actually get your lines in, not too difficultly. So the first piece you need for that front inside is 10 centimeters wide. So that's your normal first mat width. Okay, so like that. Now, because I cut this at 10.5 centimeters, we are at 45 degrees. So the first thing I do is I'll just pop this behind because it's going to be on here, and you can see the DSP sticking out below. Grab my trusty pencil. So I will want a line going that way. Okay. There. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paper in the trimmer with that line just beyond the cut mark. Okay, because I know that's definitely going to be long enough. Now what I'm going to do now, this is the tricky bit. It isn't tricky, it just takes a little bit of time, and it does need to be accurate. If you're not so bothered that your lines are not perfectly angled up, then you don't need to spend ages. But if you're like me and you do want them perfectly lined up, then you do need to spend ages. So I'm actually going to move it where I've got a few, these little markings are sort of A7, A6, just confused me a little bit there. So what you need to do is line your paper up with the corners of the squares. And if you've got your paper lined up at the corner of the squares, like that, just, there we go, we're at 45 degrees. Okay, so then you get your cutter, and I've just realised I'm beyond the point, so just check, because the point was too far across here, so just line up again with your squares. See, that's why I make the mistake, so you don't have to. Okay, we're there. Check your point is beyond it, because that's the bit you're going to discard. Cut it. Perfect. 45 degrees, 45 degrees, and beautifully too long. So what we need to do now is cut this length here to 4 centimeters, which is easier than it sounds, because obviously you can't line it up on this scale, but you can line it up on here. So if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just line it up even. Try it the other way around, Linda, you do all your... Okay, so we're lining this one up. So I'm going to do it this way, okay, because we're cutting this bit to 4 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. Okay, put that down. There we are. So if I put it on here now, you can see. There we go, fits beautifully. However, we have a fold here, so we need to have a gap in the paper. Okay, so because that's 5 and 0.25 and that's 5.25, you need to make this 5.7 centimetre, 4.7 centimetres wide even. So, and you need to cut 4.7 centimetres from here and 4.7 centimetres from here. The joy about YouTube is you can rewind if you're not quite sure you understood that bit. So cutting from the short edge, 4.7 centimetres. So that fits there beautifully. And then you want to do 4.7 centimetres from this edge. So you can do it two ways. You can either go up to the other side and cut it there, or you can just flip it over, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just cutting from the long edge 4.7 centimetres. Okay, and there you are. If you're worried about the little ridge there, just need to grab your bone folder and just flatten it down. Okay, and that'll just finish it off nicely. Okay, and then this one. So now you've completed that 2 pieces of paper beautifully lined up and ready to go. So you just will glue those on here. So now we're going to turn our attention to the inside of the card. And this time they're going to go on here, so you need to pop them behind. Now, because we're doing 2 different colours here, so this one will be your designer series paper. And this piece is actually going to be in Whisper White. So I'll do the designer series paper a bit first. Now, while you're starting to do these, just because you're practicing, I'm just sticking with the 6 inch piece, cutting it at 4.7 to give me the width. And then I'll pop it behind there. Now this paper, it's slightly different from the one you've got, actually has a way. It's got flowers on it, so I need to make sure it's the right way up. Okay, and I think I'd quite like some of those flowers on the front, so I'm actually going to shufty it down a little bit. And then I'm going to put my arrow up here. So I need my line to go that way. Okay, so this time I'm going to do this way, because you want the longest bit on this side, because it's easier to line up with the longest bit on this side. So you start off an approximation. That's roughly there. That's in the right place. So pop that down and then just make sure you're absolutely spot on the corner of those squares. Okay, trim it. Right, so again with this one, and I've done it so it's going this way round, and I wanted the flowers, which I've got, which is brilliant. Let me show you on the yellow, it's easier to see. So I've got the flowers on like I wanted, so I just need to cut this bit here. So this length here, again, needs to be 4 centimetres. So this time doing this way, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to be on this line here, so slide it down. There we go, line it up beautifully. Trim, and there we are. So fabulous. I've avoided making these cards for so long because I was never happy that I got that angle right, and so applying some trigonometry, there we are, we've got it. Now, so for the last piece we need some Whisper White, which I haven't got. I'll show you with the DSP again, but we'll do it this way up so it's almost Whisper White. Okay, so again, we're cutting into a 4.8 centimetre, 4.7 even centimetre strip. Okay, put it behind the card where you're going to put it. So now you can see on this we do need almost all the length. So I'm just going to put my line, so I need my line to go that way. So again, lining it up just beyond the cutter, and then line your squares up roughly, close your cutter. Definitely make sure you've got you're beyond the corner there. So you can see I've actually put the corner just beyond the groove is there. So you want that just beyond, because you want a nice sharp point there. Okay, line up with the squares. Take your time on this because it really will help the finish. It will look much, much better. Concentrating on where your end is. It's going to look a lot nicer if you've spent a few seconds just lining those up perfectly, press it down and remember to hold it here because you do not want that paper to move. Okay, so, and then we've got the beautiful line here, which is great. Okay, now this side was easy because you had it all on one piece, but because these two are slightly different, I found the easiest way to do this actually is to lay it on there where you want it. So you want it down a little bit. It might help to put this one on as well. Okay, right, so work out the length of this. All I actually did was I went along from there, just put a little nick. Okay, and then there you go. That's your length. And I bet you can't see that. Okay, and that then fits just there. And you can glue all your pieces down and you will have a card like this. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.